Hello, friends, and welcome back to a very special episode of our podcast.
Yes, a very special episode.
Yes, indeed. We have had a very exciting day.
Little bit.
How would you describe how you felt today?
Myself, it feels like a Tuesday. By that I mean, a lot of weird stuff happened today.
Only typical around furries, though.
Yeah.
Yes. It feels good to finally be able to talk about the stuff that we've been working on for so long. I know there's a lot to go over with the Furry Valley stuff in particular.
Yes, that's gonna take a while on its own.
You've had a couple of days to think about how you wanted to tell the rest of the story, and I wanted to go over some of it with you if you want to.
Okay. What questions do you still have?
Well, I'm still having trouble establishing a timeline for me. Because, you experienced all the things as they happened. And we did not. We being myself and the listeners. So, what I would like to know... let's put it this way, okay?
Yeah.
As like a hook into this episode and the rest of the episodes we're going to do on Furry Valley.
Yep.
Why don't you summarize... when you started to be suspicious of Simba's behavior, and just some of the things that you observed.
Oh, when did I start being suspicious of Simba's behavior?
Yes.
Well, when the first round of bans came around, there was a mass... I was an admin, very early admin, and then there was a mass wave of bans, and they're like, they're being anti-FV. Oh, what's...
Anti-FV, Furry Valley.
Anti-Furry Valley. Oh, what's this?
Oh, what's this?
What's this? Well, we go through. And then I ask around. I'm like, it's people that speak out against Furry Valley. They get banned, and then, generally, you're not supposed to talk to them after they get banned. So there was, no subtlety at all to the bannings of people.
To me, that sounds like textbook cult behavior.
It is textbook cult behavior, yes.
Like if you looked up in the dictionary,
yep,
cult-like behavior, excluding other people from your social group. Oh, if they say anything against the group, they are terminated.
Correct.
From the server, not from life, I hope.
Server specifically, but yes.
Right.
Again, that was my first experience with it.
Yeah, and then what happened?
And then, from there, things went on like normal for a while. Nothing too crazy happened.
Mm-hmm.
Until much later on, when there was another round of bans, and they're like, I need information on this person. Well, I'm not going to give you information. Well, give us this information or you'll get banned.
Jesus. Why? Why this, absurd level of control? I know it's, he's
a control freak.
But
other than being an absolute control freak, yeah, he's a terrible human being. Terrible lion.
Right. I know many furries who are very proud of being a lion. It's a very, empowering for people in many cases.
It is.
People feel like, I connect with this type of character.
Yeah.
And to me, I've heard people say, even about Simba himself, of something to the effect of, it makes me ashamed to be a lion in the furry fandom that one of our people, the people with our species is doing this.
Yes, and that is a sense of what I get from other people as well.
Right.
Everyone who's in Discord knows about Furry Valley, mostly. Every furry, it seems. You could walk into any major furry-related server, Talk Furry Valley, and eventually someone's going to be telling you, yeah, I know about that. I know what's going on there.
Right. And why? Because many people have been asking me this question, and I want to know your opinion on it, okay?
Yes.
Why hasn't there been more backlash because of these things? Because the question that I keep getting, okay,
Yep.
is people go, oh, well, if you have such strong evidence, why don't you go to the police?
Because Simba lives in a foreign country.
Well, and not only that, but, I mean, we have quite a few stories to tell about the Indianapolis Police Department.
And how incompetent they are. But getting back to the story,
Right.
people have tried going to the police. People have tried opening up full-blown legal investigations on this motherfucker.
Uh-huh.
But the dude's like Andrew Tate. He just wanders around the fucking nation, apparently.
Apparently. Make sure not to use the F word, darling.
Fine. He's like Andrew Tate. But...
Fluffing. More mother fluffing.
Yes, he's like Andrew Tate. But somehow, well, ironically, doesn't run around in a Bugatti.
Right.
And... he's... Again, Chris is just a deplorable individual.
Yeah.
And
Well,
people...
Chris being symbolized.
yes.
Right? Chris Bryant.
Yep.
So because the thing that I've heard two conflicting reports.
Yep.
And, some people say Simba Lion is, like, very protective of his own anonymity. But then again, we know his real name. So, like,
Yeah.
he can't be that protective of his anonymity. It's confusing to me.
Mostly because people turn around and out him. His pets turn around and out him.
Oh.
That's how we know most of this information is
Got it.
someone corroborated and verified.
Okay. Got it.
So, any other questions?
Well, you know what? Here, I have an idea for a way to structure it. Let's look up the list of cult characteristics. And we can talk about why Furry Valley is a cult.
Yes.
It is a cult by the definition
It is.
in the scientific literature. So, okay, this is About Cults by Steve Eichel. Okay, let's see what this says. Okay. It says, are you, or is someone you know, involved in a high-demand group or movement? Cult.
Yes.
A high-demand movement, i.e. a movement that demands a lot of your time and energy.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Oh, where to start?
Yeah.
Okay, we can literally start with the Wikipedia, with the kiwi farms, and we can just debunk and we can just confirm everything in there.
Pretty much, yeah.
At this point.
What is it? It's
Furry Valley at kiwifarms.com.
Furry Valley Kiwi Farms. I actually haven't looked at this. Oh, Chris Bryant / Simba Lion, leader of Furry Valley. Okay.
Yep. We'll just start with the top and go.
Well, you said it has how many pages? 100 pages? 100 pages!
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Okay, well, I'm not supposed to take the Lord's name in vain. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Why?
People really don't like the guy.
Jeez. I can understand that. Okay. So we have, let's see, latest news on Bryant. This is from 2019? This is kind of a long time ago.
Kinda.
Interesting. Okay.
Again, it's when I was mostly active.
Right.
2019 or so.
Latest news on Bryant. He currently has a warrant issued for his arrest. I don't know if that was ever followed through on. Interesting. Okay. Newman Holt says, thank you for your email. To update you, each UK police force has a geographical area of responsibility. Mine is within the city of Sheffield, South Yorkshire. Following a similar complaint made about a year ago, I looked into the activities of Mr. Bryant. Information supplied to me suggested there was an IP address in Sheffield connected to Bryant. This location was visited, where the address was found to be vacant, confirmed by the neighbors and the letting agency. Further inquiries were made with the Department of Social Security, and no matching person was found to be claiming benefits. Possible employers in the city were also checked, along with financial checks, again to no gain. I've discussed this with my detective inspector, who has advised that unless there's any new information that may link Bryant to Sheffield, we may struggle to locate this male in the city. You mentioned that there may be addresses in Hertfordshire and Scotland. Please see below links to Hertfordshire Police and Police Scotland. The FBI also investigates cybercrime and offers advice. I apologize if you've already looked at this. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because things like leaking people's information is not covered under the same statute of limitations.
Correct.
Of abusing people online specifically.
Yes.
Is a very serious crime, and there was a recent law passed that makes it so that victims of child sexual abuse can get justice even like 30 years later, because there's a lot of new ways to test these things. It's like the new DNA testing and stuff.
Yeah.
So they went to Congress and they said, look, it doesn't make any sense for the statute of limitations to be 10 years or whatever it was when I was 6 years old when the thing happened. Oh, so it expired when I was 16? That doesn't make any sense.
Correct.
So they changed the law. So, hypothetically, let's just say in a hypothetical universe that perhaps exists,
Yep.
we have evidence showing crimes against minors online for several of the people involved in our story. Which
Yes.
would mean that persons, let's just say their name rhymes with Blero the Wolf, right? Blero the Wolf.
Yeah.
Let's just say that his statute of limitations had expired on a potential conviction for zoophilia, because that zoophilia had occurred more than 2 years ago. But let's say in a hypothetical world that it is a crime to store, it is a crime to transmit, and it is a crime to sell zoophilic information or photos or videos. And we know that Hero did this before. And we know that he couldn't stay away from doing it. So I would be shocked if he is not still doing it to this day.
Correct.
He thinks that he has won the battle. He thinks that he has the upper hand. He thinks he cannot be prosecuted. Well, we will see what happens.
Yes.
And that is a good time for a commercial break.
It is.
I agree. All right, welcome back. This is quite the thread here. This here at the top, I should go back a little bit, and we're going to just read the title of this thread, because it is a doozy.
Yes.
Let's
go for it.
So Kiwi Farms is a exceptionally notorious website. Now, the reason why, I don't know if you know this, the reason why it is called Kiwi Farms is because the CWC Wiki, which some people pronounced as Kiwi, the CWC Wiki was a place where people would come and talk about other people other than just the subject of the CWC Wiki. Do you know who that might be?
Because people are nosy?
I said who, not why. The person that the CWC Wiki is about is Christian Weston Chandler, i.e. Chris Chan. So the reason why it's called Kiwi Farms is because several people from the CWC Wiki decided that they would create their own wiki for talking about people who have done terrible, terrible things. And unfortunately, this website has been used by unscrupulous people, by people who are not in the cause of justice, but in the cause of just hurting other people.
Yep.
They have used this website to do very horrible, horrible things. And I am not in any way condoning the things that have been done by the people involved with this website. I am merely a journalist reporting on the facts.
Correct. We are here to report on the facts.
So, here's what it says. Chris Bryant / SIMBA Lion / leader of a furry menagerie / Furry Valley runs a cult server dedicated to doxing, blackmail, zoophilia, animal abuse, and grooming minors. Okay. That's a lot to take in.
It is. It is.
Okay. Let's go through those words real quick, because some of our listeners may not be as hip on the 4chan lingo as we are. I'm not a 4chan person. I do enjoy Reddit, and that's where I learned most of this stuff. But you're more of a coast to coast radio kind of guy. So anytime we're dealing with aliens or pyramids or Illuminati or whatever, that's what.
But moving back to the topic at hand.
Yeah. So I just wanted to clarify that I do not support the leaders of the Kiwi Farms website, because if I just start reading what they said, then people are going to be like, oh, well, you must support them.
Not really.
No.
We're using this for research purposes only.
Correct. So, this is funny. So the category that it's listed on is called animal control, i.e. furry control. It's very funny.
Yes.
Wow, that is wild. Okay, so this was posted February 12th, 2019. Okay, and when was this posted? Okay, this is February 12th, 2019. Okay, got it. Okay, so at the top of it, it says, how many kids has SIMBA tried to diddle? 1 to 3, 4 to 10, or probably as many as a Catholic priest? Now, why don't you tell us the answer to that question?
Probably as many as a Catholic priest.
On math, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see, the more that I think about it, the more I find it wild that these people actually exist. Because there's so many of these weird conspiracy theories that just, they're entertaining, but they have no possibility of reality.
Correct.
There's a secret bunker underneath Comet Pizza. A secret bunker run by Hillary Clinton.
I doubt it. I mean, why would they do it in Washington, D.C. of all places?
Yeah. Why would they do it in Washington, D.C.? A place where if you are caught doing a crime, it is a federal crime, regardless of how insignificant the crime is.
Yes.
Why would you do crime in a place that punishes crime much more severely than a place that's 10 miles over? But
correct.
The details
of disbelief is somewhere in the stratosphere.
The details don't matter to these people, because they want to just believe that children are being harvested for adrenochrome or whatever. While people like SIMBA Lion, Kira the Wolf, etc. are actually doing things like necrophilia, which, for those who may not have taken Latin anytime recently, means sex with a dead body.
Yes! Or we can put in necrophilic zoophilia.
Yes, so
which is a statement I wish we wouldn't have to say on this podcast.
So define for those viewers who may not have been to school in a few years. Tell us what zoophilia is, and keep in mind the glorious, glorious mothers at the FCC that will not let us use foul,
Well,
disgusting, nasty language. So just keep that in mind.
well, to use purely scientific terms, is having coitus with a animal alive and or deceased.
And alive and deceased?
And or.
Alive or deceased.
Alive or deceased, yes.
There you go. Well, see, here's the thing. And not to make light of a terrible situation, because the situation is terrible, but sometimes the only thing that we can do is dance in the ashes and laugh in our misery. So...
Yes. We're always looking on the bright side of life here.
We are always looking on the bright side of life. I find it so funny that the people, oftentimes it's the people you would least expect. Like, nobody expected that Hero was doing all this just insane stuff before everything came out.
Correct.
You can go back and look at tweets of the time, for example. You can search by date range in Twitter, and the people do not suspect him of anything.
No.
When it first came out on that fateful day, which I remember so well, people were, I would say at least 90% of people were saying this is fake. It's easy enough to change details in Telegram logs. This has to be fake, etc. And they're not fake. I wish they were. I don't know how anyone could
fake this?
Hundreds and hundreds of pages of text in someone else's voice, as we've talked about on the podcast before. That is not something that happens in the real world.
No. Next question.
I had to make if you haven't listened to my original pod on this subject, it's actually the very first episode of the podcast where we talked about Hero, and I said, and I say again because it's what happened. I had to make a decision of whether or not to take him off of the Artwork T website.
Yes, he did.
I had made it a point to let people continue to sell on the Artwork T website, regardless of if they were liberal or conservative, and even if they had some controversial opinions. Controversial conservative opinions, generally speaking.
Conservative furries exist.
They do.
Once in a while.
A conservative does not mean terrible person.
No!
It means a person who thinks that the past was better. People may disagree with that, but it does not make someone evil.
No, it does not.
So, let's continue on here with this thread. Meet Chris Bryant. If you could hand me that phone, please.
Yep, here you go.
Thank you. Okay. Meet Chris Bryant, a former admin of Fur Affinity and current owner of Furry Menagerie. Furry Menagerie rebranded to Furry Valley in January of 2019.
Yeah, the way he got Furry Valley was extorting the person who owned it.
Now, tell us about that. I don't see that here. I don't see that here in this
thread. He openly bragged about it.
Really?
Like it was a badge of honor.
Wow. What is it with furries and just stealing large YouTube channels and Discord servers? Why does that happen?
I don't know.
Welcome to the internet. We'll try to take your YouTube channel to sell crypto.
Welcome to the internet. We'll steal your channel now. Every place that you can look around, no one can be found. There's mountains of content.
Some better, some worse. If none of it's of interest to you, you'd be the first.
Welcome to the internet. We'll steal your channel now. If you have a following, well, tough luck, but it's time. It's what happens here all the time. Granted, not very often, but who knows?
Well, that was our first karaoke segment of the podcast. I'm sure we sounded like yapping dogs, and I'm sure that will be clipped out of context and posted all over TikTok. So great job on that.
Well, if we're all over TikTok, then we've won. Who's the In the infinite words of Violent J from ICP,
Fair enough.
when they released the Miracles music video and song,
Mm-hmm.
his comment was, "Who's talking about who?"
Wow. You know, Violent J, his
Daughter is a furry.
his daughter is a furry. I wonder if he would be interested in talking with us.
He might. Juggalos are very interesting creatures.
They certainly are. They certainly are.
I once worked with one. Very nice lady.
Oh, yeah?
Very hard worker.
Well, good. Oh, I'm taking a look at Insane Clown Posse's Twitter, and it is something else. What is his personal Twitter? Let's see. Violent J Twitter. Ah, here we go. The Real Violent J. Okay.
The realist.
The realist, bro. Last post was in 2011. Oh no. That's fine.
I don't think he checks it very often.
Doesn't sound like it, but that's fine. We will,
He's busy writing songs or something.
we'll email him as well.
I guarantee you he doesn't get many emails.
Probably not. I mean, famous people get lots of emails, but hopefully they'd be interested in speaking with us. I know they've done interviews about furry stuff in the past.
Yeah.
How would you like to interview Violent J on our podcast?
Oh, that'd be awesome. Let's do it.
Absolutely. And of course, we have to contact Coast to Coast. We were going to call them and ask if they would be interested in interviewing us on the 16th when they have a gap in their schedule.
Yes.
I know your daughter is a furry, and I have been working on a documentary about abusers in the furry fandom. I was wondering if you might lend your
Input.
what would be the right way to put it? Special blend of comedy, we'll say.
Yes.
I was wondering if you might be willing to lend your special blend of comedy to our radio show on WWPR-AM. Oh, I think it has an underscore in there somewhere. Let me see. Twitter. Trying hard to look like Gary Cooper. Super duper. Okay.
Are you saying he's sitting on the Ritz?
I think so.
Dressing like $1 million trooper.
Super duper. I know there's a way to do music for. I know there's a way to do music for a Spotify podcast. Let me see if I can figure out how to do it. And we have a delightful treat for the next part of our radio program. A listener and a friend of ours, actually, who lives nearby. We've played D&D with them a couple of times. They sent in a voice recording If you go to our podcast page, you can send in your own voice recording if you like, and we might play it on the program. So here you go.
Hey Neo, I'm Izzy. We played D&D together recently at my local game shop, and I just thought it'd be cool to say hey and send you a message on your podcast. I just really enjoyed playing that game with you over West Springs. It was pretty cool, and you're great to play with, and also your podcast seems pretty chill. I haven't listened to most of it, but listened to even most of an episode yet, but it seems pretty cool. Bye. I'm gonna get on watching that once I've gone to sleep. Later.
And thank you so much to Izzy for sending in that voice message. We greatly appreciate it. Welcome back to the show!
Yes, welcome back.
I see a couple of new people have joined our Discord today. Welcome, welcome. We have Deslizen. Welcome. I don't know how to pronounce that. But yes, we're very grateful for you being here.
Yes, we are.
Let's see. Let's see. Oh, we were looking at the aspect of a cult, because I think that talking on these topics, it's best to point out why it is a serious thing, because in my experience, people who are not deeply in the furry fandom look at people running around in giant fluffy doggo costumes and say, well, how bad can it be when they look like a Disneyland mascot but actually made by a professional artist?
Well, that's the thing. How bad can it be? How bad could it possibly be? How bad could it be? I don't know. Think to yourselves and then ask yourself that question.
Right.
Yes, next question.
Okay. So, I'm going to tell you a couple of the aspects of the cult.
Yep.
Okay? We'll start just one at a time. And if any of them ring true to you, then let us know.
Okay. Let's do it.
So it says, the group is focused on a living leader to whom members seem to display excessively zealous and unquestioning commitment.
Yes.
So how did Mr. Chris Bryant exemplify that?
How didn't he exemplify that? It's probably the better question.
Yeah.
Well, could never say anything bad about him.
Right.
Could never speak your mind towards him.
Mm-hmm.
He actually has, by the way, anyone who is in the server, who happens to find themselves in the server, there's a chat room called Screaming Into the Void. That gets directly... It's set up in Discord, so it sends him direct messages every time someone uses it.
Wow.
It's allegedly set up...
insane.
So it's allegedly set up to... It's allegedly set up to delete itself. Yeah, that's not what happens.
Wow.
At all.
That is a really extreme manipulation tactic.
It is, and I actually tested that theory out once.
Yeah, what happened?
I was on an alt account,
Okay.
and I directly DM'd SIMBA through it, just to test the rumors.
Okay.
2 minutes later, one of his alt accounts show up and say, "You can't be saying that."
Wow.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Why would he do that?
He wants power over people.
Jesus.
He's a sick, sadistic individual who grew up in a hopeless... grew up autistic, and... not grew up autistic. He grew up And his parents were very, very anti-gay, very, very anti. Think non what. Just
non straight white male. What?
Yeah.
Be specific. It's fine.
A non-straight white male that has all his faculties in place. His father was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
His mother pretty much just shut down. So he grew up in an abusive household.
Interesting. Okay.
On top of his autism, which he uses as a defense. He's a neurosurgeon, apparently.
Sure. Sure.
He
A
thinks,
neurosurgeon.
yes.
See, you have to be able to string words together competently to be a neurosurgeon. You have to be able to, go a day without abusing people to be a neurosurgeon. It would be very difficult for him.
Yes. Again, according to him, he's a neurosurgeon. People have looked into this claim, and they're like, yeah, we called it... we've never heard of this guy. When they... Other confidants I have looked into these matters.
Interesting.
Because, I have contacts all over the world. That's how it is. So, my trusted contacts have tested these theories as well. I have as well, to some degree or another.
Well, and what types of theories did you test?
Well, give me an example of some of the theories, because there's a lot of them.
Okay, well, let's just go to the next one on the list. It says, the group is preoccupied with bringing in new members.
Yes, and here's how they would do it.
Yeah, what did they do?
They would go into Discord servers.
Okay.
They would go into other people's Discord servers, sneak into them, and then just start mass requesting people to join the server.
Interesting.
Which goes against Discord's terms of service for unsolicited... You can actually get accounts banned for unsolicited Discord invites.
Right.
So...
Why would it be that extreme? Like, what is the need for this type of really, really strict control? Because in a non-cult environment, in the local Girl Scout troop, I hope, they're not constantly telling the Girl Scouts, like, you have to recruit every person you know to be a Girl Scout. 80 years old, make them sign on the dotted line. Grandma starts as a brownie scout. She's going to be the equivalent of an Eagle Scout in 18 years' time when she is 98 years old.
Exactly. Yeah, it'd be like that over there.
That is super weird.
Your guess is as good as mine. I'm still scratching my head about why he needs that much control. I've never come up with a good answer. No one's ever come up with a good answer.
Right.
I don't even think he knows at this point.
That is interesting. Why do you think that is?
Coming from a broken childhood and wanting to apply abuse and power over others? Because people applied abuse and power over him?
What?
I am no expert in psychology. If any experts in early childhood development psychology want to come on the podcast, just drop us a line. I'm sure you're a lovely person, and we would love to talk with you some more. Okay. Because I am legit. I don't know why he acts this way.
Right. Well, you brought up abusing others because he was abused himself.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that is a common theme among the subjects of our story. I came up with an idea, okay? I just want to run it by you, all right?
Yeah?
I'm just gonna
go for it. Shoot.
Just gonna bounce it off.
Shoot.
Okay. So to give our story on our something to help us tell our story on YouTube, okay?
Yes.
What if we call the inner circle of furries They call them the Furry Illuminati. The people that control all the strings from the inside, and they have insidious rituals like raping puppies. No, to me, if let's say you had 1,000 people in your community. Let's say 1 in 1,000 people in your community were puppy rapists. I would say that is too many.
A little bit.
So, why are furries so eager to accept these people back into their community? As an example, there are still people to this day who still support Hero.
What? Other people out there that support Snake Thang as well.
Oh yeah, big time.
Of course.
But like, as an example, Hero has 10 supporters on Patreon as of today.
Yes.
So, there are at least 10 people who said, I think that Hero is so innocent that I'm willing to give him my money every month.
People. Think about who you're sending your money to.
Right.
Send it to honorable charities.
Right.
Like Scientology.
This actually brings up... Jesus Christ.
I'm joking. I am very much joking there.
Well, you don't want David Miscavige to come after you, do you? They don't allow for any type of dissent. They're totally not a cult.
Oh, yeah. Hey, David.
Sure.
David,
buddy.
Buddy,
Buddy, buddy, pal of mine.
David, I'm going to come
David Miscavige.
After I go claim some billionaire Russian oligarch's private cruise ship, I'll come swim out to you and go find you on the free winds, and then, you're an international criminal in international waters.
Now, what did I say?
I did not say homicide.
Uh-huh.
He's wanted.
Uh-huh. Are you saying... Let me understand correctly. Are you saying you want to go Boba Fett on his ass? That's what you're saying, right?
Yes. No disintegration.
No disintegrations, please.
No disintegration.
Hey, Kiro. Oh, I wonder... Let's see. I think I need to change the volume. Okay. Hey, Kiro. Is it amplifying?
No.
No? Okay, let me turn it up a little bit.
Can you not point that at me?
What?
I'll show you. Give the knob. Oof.
Okay. Be careful.
Hey. Kiro. Hey, Kiro. We're coming for you.
We got a megaphone in the mail. I'm gonna have to record a bit for TikTok just so you guys can see it. But it is delightful. Hey, Kiro. Hey, Kiro, buddy.
I turned the volume way down.
Good. Okay. Hey, Kiro.
Hey, Kiro.
Hey, Kiro, buddy. Why? Why would you do this, man? Why would you do this to that poor dog?
Yes, why?
That dog did not deserve it.
The dog did not want it.
No.
The dog wanted head pats and belly rubs.
In fact...
You fucking monster. You absolute monster.
Do you by chance remember what Snake Thing said to Kiro about Coda, his dog, on the day that the dog died? Do you remember?
A lot of crazy shit has happened. No, I don't remember specifically.
Well, this is one of the things that just makes me very angry, very upset. It makes me more angry than almost anything in the world. Okay? So, Hero comes to his friend, snake thing, friend, quote unquote, he comes to his friend's snake thing and he says, my dog just died, and I wasn't even there because I was traveling at the time, and it suddenly fell ill. His dog suddenly fell ill.
Oh, yeah.
Died. And he said, I feel terrible. I wasn't even able to be there when he died. And he says very explicitly he thinks that the horrible abuses that he did to this dog it caused the dog's death.
Yeah.
And Snake Thing says the wildest thing that I have ever heard in response, okay?
Yep.
So Hero says, I feel so bad about it. It's I feel bad. And Snake Thing says, don't feel bad. Your dog loved you and wanted to do it.
Hey, Snake Thing. I really hope you're having a lovely time in prison.
Yeah. I wonder how we can find where he is, because
we would have to look up the court records.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to find his real name,
Shouldn't be too difficult.
and then from there we just cross-reference it with the prison database.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find him eventually.
Yeah.
Hell, actually, there's backgrounding software that we could use that would expedite that process.
We could certainly give it a try. I've become quite good at snooping down internet rabbit holes over the years.
Yes.
Did I tell you? This was one of the wildest ones that I ever found, and unfortunately I didn't end up ever getting it on like a podcast or a YouTube video because one, it was so complicated.
Yeah.
That I knew that just even trying to explain how I got from one piece of evidence to the other would be difficult to do.
Yep.
And two, not that many people at the time cared about My Little Pony fan fiction. Now, My Little Pony fan fiction is this nostalgic thing from 5 years ago that people are like, oh, I remember it fondly. Tell me the story about how you found the only picture on the internet. The only picture on the internet.
Yeah?
Of the person who wrote Fallout Equestria.
You found it?
So here's the sequence of logical leaps that I had to get to find this picture. Okay?
Yep.
I've been waiting so long to tell this story, and I never had the opportunity. Okay? Here we go.
Okay.
All right. So step one, I learned that KCat used to use a username called KCatMan. KKATMAN. And I said, oh, well, if they used to use it as their username, and in addition, they had no idea they were going to become brony famous, or pony famous, so they wouldn't have any reason to especially hide their presence online. And so
Correct.
I found like 10 different accounts on all of these different websites under KCatMan, and all about, like Fallout stuff and Fallout fan fiction. There's like comics about Fallout that KCat had written. The most notable things that I found, if I recall, it's been so long, I'd have to go through everything again, but if I recall correctly, KCat was ostracized from several fanfiction websites before becoming famous for writing Fallout Equestria, because KCat liked to write snuff fiction, i.e., stories and comics about characters killing each other. And that is against the terms of service of most fanfiction websites.
It really is.
Now, knowing this information will not surprise you if you have read Fallout Equestria, because it is filled with exceptionally graphic descriptions of gore. And I've been on the internet for many, many years, and descriptions of gore do not typically bother me, but holy crap. The number of metal rods that get sliced through that pony is ungodly, to say the least.
A little bit.
So I found the username, KCatMan. I found these weird comics. I found this whole scandal that predated ponies by like 5 years. And I learned
Yep.
that KCAT had participated in a college study written by one of their classmates about online roleplay. And it just so happened that their classmate was a big online roleplay person, roleplaying under the username KCatMan. And so I found the one and only picture of KCat in any way related to their username, KCat. A picture from over 10 years ago, approximately 100 pixels wide by 200 pixels tall, so you could barely even see what was happening in the picture. And to top it all off, they look like the most normal, unassuming, just milquetoast white guy that you've ever seen. Just a Joe from the street. And this person wrote fiction so violent that 4chaner type people banned them from fiction forums.
Yeah.
You never know what is going on inside someone's head.
That there's an achievement to be unlocked when you annoy 4chan enough that they don't want to deal with you.
Yeah. So just to be clear, okay? I found the username.
Yep.
I then found the college study, and then 60 pages in
Yep.
to the college study was the article about KCat, and it was fantastic. And I learned from that article that KCat referred to roleplay as female characters. And what do you know? Fallen Equestria is written from a female character's perspective.
Of course.
Makes sense. People have had so many questions about this for so long, and I have struggled to find a way to tell the story in a way that would actually make sense, because I can't summarize it in a tweet. It takes, 10 minutes to actually tell this story.
Correct.
So, that is the story behind the Fallen Equestria details that I got.
I see.
Mike. So what should we talk about for our next topic? We still have more for Chris Bryan to go over. We still have more Majira stuff to go over.
Let's just keep going down the kiwi farms.
Yeah, 100 pages. We'll finish this in the year of our Lord 2100 probably. It was very funny. Okay, so again, another piece of trivia about Fallout Equestria is it's 43 chapters long. Now, there was an audio drama series that was making one episode per year.
So they were working. So it would be.
So when they finished the last chapter, chapter 45, just to be clear, it would be the year 2067, and all of the members of the team would be eligible for Social Security benefits.
Why were they doing it 1 year at a time?
I mean, working with volunteers is always a challenge, just because people are, people have lives, people have things to study in school, jobs to do.
Knock it out on a hot weekend with professionals. Next question.
That's the way that it should be done, but it was very funny because everyone enjoyed this audio drama, but we were like, there's no way this is ever going to get finished. Or if it does, we'll all be on spaceships while we're listening to it. Okay, so back to Furry Valley.
Turns out they make a sequel.
Jesus. It wouldn't surprise me at this point. Okay, so it says, meet Chris Bryant, a former admin of Fur Affinity and current owner of Furry Menagerie. Furry Menagerie rebranded to Furry Valley in January of 2019 as accusations of doxing, cult-like behavior, grooming of minors, and zoophilia at the hands of Chris came to light. He also has a crush fetish.
He does. And a vor fetish.
Ooh. To be fair, if someone is doing fetish things in a safe and consensual way, that is totally fine.
He's indiscriminate about who his fetish is with.
Correct. And animals cannot give consent. So
Correct.
that is why it is illegal.
Yes.
So I am not against fetishes. I am against people not abiding by the rules of consent.
Correct.
He has a crush fetish, which also involves him crushing cow poo, ew, and being crushed, but also enjoys crushing small animals. Oh, Jesus. Ugh. Ugh, it's so gross.
A little bit.
Let's see. Like all mentally ill furries found on Animal Control, Chris has humble beginnings as an edgy 14-year-old role-playing as Therian teacher that speaks 23 languages.
He speaks English and French. He's fluent in French.
Wow.
I don't know about the other 23.
And is also a self-titled The Lion King guru.
Yes.
Interesting. What a badge of honor to wear that would only work in the furry community. Okay, let's see. This is a more detailed description. This is... I pity our listeners who are not completely immersed in the furry fandom like we are, because they are probably going to hear the following sentences and think that I'm just stringing random words together. So if you have questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. Okay, here's what it says. Hello there from Manchester, England. You've just read the first post of the largest Lion King fan in the entire world. Let me introduce myself. I'm a 14-year-old teacher? What? With 7 years experience in that field. Sure. So you started teaching at 7 years old? With the equivalent of a bachelor's of science in mathematics. My. I guess they're just giving out degrees to anyone these days.
A little bit. Again.
The Lion King is my inspiration in life. And I had a SIMBA plushie on my desk with me when I took my finals at university for my BSc. I bet you did have a SIMBA plushie on your desk when you took your finals when you were 7 years old. It's normal for people at the age of 7 years old to have a SIMBA plushie. It is not normal for them to be taking college-level courses in mathematics.
He's a self-proclaimed genius.
Oh, clearly. He brought me luck, and I got a first as a result. I attributed my success to my utmost dedication to The Lion King, and I found it helped incredibly to listen to the music while revising for the finals. The movies helped beyond words also. I'm teaching in a town called Bury, close to Manchester, so if you are ever around, ask about me. Someone will know who I am. What? This is... I have seen a lot of weird things on the internet, but this may be the weirdest. Why? Okay, how did he get to this point?
I have no idea.
Okay, let's read on. My hobbies are The Lion King. Yes, we got that. Thank you. Next hobby. Okay. Oh, the study of uniform polyhedra, i.e. the shapes of D&D dice. So he studies the shapes of D&D dice. Okay, all right. I'm pretty sure we figured that one out about 4,000 years ago. And I'm not really sure what else you can figure out about a symmetrical pyramid by this point. Because, you see, it either looks like the one in Egypt with 4 sides, or it looks like the one from science class with 3 sides. So it's not really that complicated.
No.
Let's see. Next, calculus. Oh, yes, of course. I bet you were doing calculus at 14 with the writing skills that I see here. Along with a fiercely burning passion for linguistics. That's about me. And I'm glad to be here. Any problems you have, especially in mathematics. Oh, and mathematics spelled with a capital M, of course, as if mathematics is literally a god. Interesting. Feel free to PM me. I can tell you all you need to know. Also, any questions on The Lion King? I consider myself to be a Lion King guru. And in true mid-2000s internet fashion, the words, The Lion King guru, are in bolded text. Why?
I have no idea.
So here's how I read that sentence with the bolded text, okay? Also, any questions on The Lion King? I consider myself to be
A guru.
the Lion King guru, if you will. So again, feel free to ask anything you're unaware on The Lion King. This is bolded as well. I speak 23 languages. You know, putting it in bold doesn't make it true. To a degree of fluency, and I can translate if anyone has trouble speaking English and would prefer to speak their mother tongue, or any of the other 23 languages on Google Translate at the time. I wonder how he just magically was able to translate text
Oh, he's an expert. He's a
from one to the other of 23 languages, you said?
He deems himself to be a grandmaster at chess as well.
Oh, I'm sure. Someone
It doesn't take that. Okay, it takes a genius to set up to have a computer monitor next to you, and whatever move they make, you simply copy the move on the other computer.
Mm-hmm.
And then
If we ever get around to covering non-furry wild stories on the internet, which we very well might, there was a huge issue with Magnus Carlsen, the chess master. My memory is a bit hazy on it, but
he cheated in the most ridiculous way possible.
Just to summarize for you, for something that we will definitely have to cover in a full investigation, but apparently he was cheating, using a very similar method to Mr. Chris Bryant of using a computer to check his moves with a partner in the crowd. But how did he receive the information of which piece to move?
Via a stimulator.
A vibrator in the bunghole, as they might say on Beavis and Butthead. It is also the subject of a $100 million lawsuit. So just a lot of fun for the people who have the goal of being the highest ranked person in chess to ever have confirmed a butt plug while they were playing in a Grandmaster Championship. I'm sure it's happened other times, but just the only one that we know of.
I mean, I'm surprised people encounter. I'm surprised people in not online games, championship games are doing the same thing, because you can have wall hacks, but
right,
you're not cheating.
Exactly. Well, let's see. I can translate if anyone has trouble speaking English and would prefer to speak their mother tongue.
Yeah.
My nickname is Simba. I would appreciate it if you would, bold text again, refer to me as Simba. Why the bolded text? Although my real name is Chris, I despise it. And in real life as well as many other places on the internet, I am known as Simba. Thus, that is what I wish to be known as here. Oh yes, very typical grammar of a neurosurgeon. Definitely. You know how neurosurgeons famously worship the Lion King and care greatly about their reputation in online forums. You know, typical neurosurgeon stuff. Well, very nice introducing myself to you all. Thank you for congratulating yourself on that. And now it's time for a few questions. I would like you to enlighten me with your obviously superior knowledge of these forums. After all...
Is this his own personal Kiwi Farm City League stuff too?
I don't know. It is just the main thread on Kiwi Farms. So I would assume, since we know that he's posted in the main thread, so assuming this is the same one they were talking about.
So this is his personal... So this man is so neurotic that he has a personal Kiwi Farms For people to talk bad stuff about him?
Well, see, here's the thing. If your only goal in life is to get attention, it doesn't matter if that attention is positive or negative. It's why celebrities do dumb stuff. The reason is because it's the same as a child acting out, quote unquote, for attention. Because some people just never grow up. And clearly, Mr. Chris Bryant is one of those.
Yeah.
After all, I've only been here 5 minutes, but you give me time. ... That is unnecessarily creepy. Moving on. 1. Titles in the forum? ? Do they exist? ? Is it based on post count? ? If yes, how many posts is each title? ? Very specific. 2. Becoming a moderator. How? Does experience help? Being active, a plus? Okay, so let me get this straight. So you've joined 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
So let's imagine that you were on. I don't think this was Facebook, but let's imagine that this was on Facebook back in the day, because this would have been probably like maybe 2007, something like that, when you could actually message a Mr. Mark Zuckerberg on his platform, and he might respond to you.
Right.
Imagine if he had joined Facebook, and he joined at noon, let's say.
Yes.
And then, according to him, at 12:05, he then proceeded to ask how he could become a moderator, to the equivalent at this website of their Mark Zuckerberg. Why? You don't walk into the McDonald's and ask to become the manager. There's like rats running around you, and it's really gross, man. You can't just come in here with rats all over you and expect to become the manager.
I'm the manager now because I say I am. This crystal skull says I am.
Wow. Profanity and discrimination. Do the moderators here deal with these intolerable behaviors seriously? Spamming. How is spamming dealt with? Do the moderators crack down on spamming? Is it dealt with firmly? That's about all I need to say in my introductory post. Thank you for reading it all if you took that liberty, and if you chose not to, well then, you just missed out on a piece of informative literature, and I'm sure after you've seen me around here a while, then you will take an interest in what I have to say. As one continuous piece of text.
Did I write that?
This is perhaps the longest run-on sentence. No, I've seen longer run-on sentences, but it's rare to see one that's an entire paragraph. That's unusual. My catchphrase. Okay, here I would like to know if you have heard this catchphrase before.
Okay.
Let's find out. Huggles plus nuzzles plus a big bag of snuggles.
I haven't heard that in ages, so I would say probably not.
Interesting. If I like you, semicolon. You're polite and a diligent member of the forum, then it's likely you will hear my catchphrase said to you at one point or another. Huggles plus nuzzles, spelled with a Z at the end, by the way, instead of an S. So it's not huggles, like multiple hugs. It's huggles, like I'm a 90s Burger King mascot.
Okay.
Huggles plus nuzzles plus a big bag of snuggles to everyone. Tilde, tilde, SIMBA. Wow. That is a lot.
That is a sentence.
Wow. How delusional do you have to be?
Somewhere
Wow.
between yes and yes and.
Yeah. Well, I think that brings us to around an hour if I cut out some of the silences.
How many pages?
We have not even gotten through one post yet. One post out of approximately 1,000 posts. So this is going to take a while. Fortunately for us, we have literally until the heat death of the universe. So thank you so much for listening, my friends, and we will see you next time.